So thank you so much, Krishnan ji, for joining. I really appreciate. Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you, thank you. I know it's a Sunday, and you still made it a time to give it to us to talk about your reversal journey. It means a lot to us. So Krishnan ji, first thing first. Why did you want to join the reversal program?
Okay, I'll be brutally honest. So my wife was part of this, reversal program, and the kind of transformation that she achieved during the process. So this was before I joined, right? It was quite remarkable, right? And this is basically a question of why not, right? And that is the reason why it made a difference to me, because I was lucky to see have a first hand experience of a person going through the reversal program and benefiting very significantly out of it, right? So I'll give a background about myself, right? I was diabetic and I've been consuming medication for the past almost 3 to 4 years now, right? And this medication was form various forms, metformin, two different molecules, including vildagliptin and other chemicals that was actually needed for to maintain my sugar levels over a period of time. um, but when I saw my wife actually literally become diabetes free, right, very quickly, she wasn't under medication, so probably it was easier for her, right? But for me it was a encouraging thing to look at, hey, this is possible, right? And this is something which I have to sort of go through to understand if it is actually going to work for me, right? And that is the motivation with which I joined the program, right?
Wow. Wow. So nice. So nice. So, Krishnanji, when you actually enrolled for the program, what were your conditions? So you were diabetic. You had cholesterol medicines that were on, maybe on statins. You were on. You had
That's
the
correct.
BP medications on, and I suppose your weight was also on the higher side, right? So,
Right.
what was your HbA1c when you started with the medication?
So with the medication, when I started, it was around 7.8. Right, that was the the HbA1c when I was with the medication, which is fairly okay. I mean, I know it is still on the higher side, but with medications and eating whatever you want or whatever that is there, but it was actually fine, right? But definitely, it like you have good days and bad days whenever you are with medication, right? Because you're not certain if your sugar levels are going to be controlled on a daily basis or not. And when you are in a medication, you don't really check that often, right, in terms of like whether it is working for you or not. So there used to be varied symptoms of tiredness, of fatigue, and various actually things that actually happened during that point in time. But yeah, that was the state where I was in, and I was actually, I okay. To be honest, I have always been overweight from the childhood itself, right? But somehow I should tell you that I was actually shocked to see that I need not be that, right, and I reduced quite a bit of weight over a period of time, right, through this process.
Yes, yes. So your HbA1c also came down from 7.8 to what was the last HbA1c, Krishnan?
So I stopped my medications completely. So without any medications, my HbA1c at the last I've measured was 7.4, right?
Wow.
Which means I completely stopped medications and my body does not require, and still I came back to 7.4. So
Wow.
yeah, that's what it is.
Wow. Wow. So beautiful. So with the medication, your HbA1c used to be at 7.8, and that medications were like metformin and all the other molecules.
Correct.
With your statins. So are you on statins? Are you on
No,
any statins?
no.
You
So I've
stopped.
stopped statins. I've stopped, diabetes medication. The only thing I'm continuing is my BP medication. But apart from that, everything else is actually you stopped.
Stop. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And you've also seen reduction in your weighing scale. So your
Absolutely.
beautiful.
Especially my, it's more of a toning, I would say. I actually lost almost 4 inches in waist size,
Wow.
right? So which is
Beautiful.
actually quite significant for me.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm sure your clothes have got loose, right?
Exactly. Right.
Very nice, very nice. So Krishnanji, was there any part of the program that you thought, it is impossible? I mean, this is not something that I can sustain for the rest of my life. Was the program like this? Did you
Yeah.
do anything like that, or was it
Well,
like? Simple enough.
I'm sort of like a one, I used to be a self-appointed foodie, right? I used to eat, I used to critique food. I cook food. I still cook food, and I love food, right? So whenever someone said, "Hey, there is going to be restrictions, or there are going to be changes that are actually needed," I thought it was impossible for me, right? And because I mean, to be honest, for a person who's been, working, or who likes food and who indulges himself in it, right? To someone to come and say that, diet or restriction was extremely, I thought it was impossible for me to do. But luckily, the program is organized in such a way that you actually don't, I am surprised that I made the transformation without even realizing that I made the transformation.
Wow,
I think
beautiful.
that's a really amazing part of it. And right now I'm eating right, and that is the made a lot of difference for
Wow,
sure.
wow. Do you think, Krishnanji, the because a lot of people who would want to kind of join the program, do you think everyone can actually do this program? Is it simple enough for everyone to kind of be able to do this program, reverse their diabetes, reverse their weight, and reverse their other condition that comes with diabetes and obesity?
The way I look at it is, if I can do it, anybody else can do it, right? And I'll tell you the reasons why, right? Right? You basically, like, so when you're regimented, you're having a regimented life. You have kids, you have work, everything comes plays into the picture. So more often than not, wellness and health probably sometimes takes the back seat, right? And, it, and I'm not sort of like, sort of an exception to this rule. So it happened the same way. What this program lets you do is inculcate the ideology that wellness is equivalent in priority as to whatever other things. I won't say higher, right? I mean, I shouldn't be, saying a wrong thing here. It is as important as any other thing that you actually do. So when that happens, you automatically create space for it,
Wow.
right? And when you automatically create space for it, it becomes a seamless process. So, and that is the reason why it works, and that is why reason why you don't feel it as a pressure, right?
Pressure, pressure. Were a lot of your myths busted during the program, that why one actually becomes obese and diabetic? Why you thought that it was because of your family and things like that? Were a lot of these myths busted as well in the program when you actually went?
Absolutely, absolutely right. So, earlier, I don't know if people realize what they talk about. If both your parents are diabetes, for sure you're diabetic. You're going to become diabetic. If one of your parent is diabetic, you have a 50% chance. Um, this complete myth was broken in this program, and said that, diabetes is a lifestyle, especially type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle induced, deficiency, I would say, right? And this deficiency can be reversed, right? And if done right, if you eat right, and if you do the things right, you can ensure that your body actually reverses it. This is something which was, it's a myth breaker completely, right? And definitely I agree with you, sir. I think this is something which, I never thought that I could do it, but after seeing my wife and after doing it myself, I'm a firm believer of this process.
Wow. Did you get enough support during the program, sir? I mean, did you get enough feedback? Were there enough sessions? Those sessions, were they helpful? How did that entire support system work?
Right. So it was really brilliant, right? So not only, like, if you look at it, we were encouraged to, talk to each other in the group, right? If you have any issues, and then you basically you post, your whatever you're actually having every day, which brings in a lot of credibility in what you do, right? And any question that you ask, right, you are actually, you've given the time, right, and you're given the answers that you need for you to sort of go forward with. So definitely it was a brilliant process, right? I really thank you, Savan sir, and Chandru sir, for taking care of this, the students, and the way we actually, the questions that we had, and so patiently answering all those questions, even if they are repetitive in nature. So which is significant. I'm, like I said, I'm not a very patient man by nature, right? But when I go through this as a process, right, eventually I think I became more patient, I would say, looking at you guys and understanding of how important it is to sort of like give time to each everybody and answer every question. So that definitely it made a lot of difference.
Wow. And how do you feel, post your transformation, wherein, today you're totally off from all the medication. There are no medications in your life. What is your level of energy? What is your level of focus? What's the level of your, your inner and outer health?
Yeah. So I think so. If after this program, what you realize is actually more than the physical strength that you gain, it's the mental confidence that you build, right? And this combination sort of like make does miracles to you, right? In terms of the ability, the way by which sort of like carry yourself, right, in the social circles, be it official circles, be it personal circles, whatever. The kind of confidence that you exude will really it improves because of this, right? Because you have taken things under control, because you've been able to sort of master a particular activity which you thought you couldn't, right, make a difference to, right? That makes a lot of difference. And definitely that has been the clear outlook, and people can see the difference in confidence, people can see the difference in attitude, right? That comes up because of this.
Yeah. And how people within your family, like your daughters, uh, do they also kind of, they have started walking your path now, in some
Yeah,
way, form?
absolutely right. So I would actually say, so we consume something called the green juice, right? And that has actually become a norm for me today. If I don't have green juice, it is actually, I feel odd. Like even if my family members, like they're like they remind you,
Wow.
daddy, it's green juice. Yeah, you have to consume the green juice, because that is something which is important, right? And so to go to a certain extent, we have a cook, right? So if they will be surprised if I say I don't want a green juice, right? They'll say, no, no, I mean, you're supposed to have, right? That's your schedule, right? So that helps quite a bit, and that is the transformation that I've actually seen, right? And like I'm sure my wife also will say that nowadays my kids, they don't even touch milk even if we try to feed them, right? So, so it's become like that, right? So yeah, so we see the transformation, and it is really remarkable.
And would you recommend this program to others, who are either obese, diabetic, or who have other lifestyle issues? Would you recommend this to them to actually get onto the program and get reversed once and for all?
Absolutely, absolutely right. So this program gives you a lot of the learning, so the knowledge, and also the ability to sort of be disciplined in what you eat, right? And also the various yoga exercises that you actually do makes you a better person. So definitely it is something which is actually a life changing activity, and I would actually and definitely encourage everybody to who has been affected, even if you are not affected, right? This process changes your lifestyle in such a way that you will actually not be getting such things even later on in the future. So that is something which I believe, this is a lifestyle change rather than actually a remedial process.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Krishnanji, for giving us your valuable time, valuable input. You're one of the role models that others would want to emulate and get inspired and take this transformation onto within their own lives onto a different level. Uh,
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much. Thank you so much for coming onto our platform and sharing this valuable inputs. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely, thank you so much, sir.